Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Learning Room's crash course in morphology. I'm glad to have you here as we continue exploring how words are formed and structured. In this series, we've been uncovering the building blocks of language, and today, we're going one step further into the fascinating world of bound morphemes. So, let's get started and see how these tiny elements shape the words we use every day. Before we begin today's topic, let's take a quick look at this chart. The red section represents what we covered in our previous lecture, free morphemes and their two types, lexical and functional morphemes. In this lecture, we'll focus on the blue section, bound morphemes, and discuss their two main types, derivational and inflectional morphemes, along with their forms, prefixes, and suffixes. This will complete our understanding of the full classification and subclassification of morphemes. In this lecture, we'll explore the types of bound morphemes, focusing on a detailed discussion of derivational and inflectional morphemes. We'll then examine their two forms, prefixes and suffixes, and wrap up with a summary of the complete classification and subclassification of morphemes. Like free morphemes, bound morphemes are also divided into two types. Now, we'll explore these categories in detail. Bound morphemes are generally classified into two main types. First one is the derivational morphemes, and second one is the inflectional morphemes. Let's look at each of these one by one to understand how they function in word formation. Derivational morphemes are added either at the beginning of the word or at the end of a word to change its meaning or its grammatical category. Derivational morphemes are often less productive, meaning they cannot always attach freely to every word in the language. There are two main types of derivational morphemes, prefixes and suffixes. Prefixes occur at the beginning of a word and usually alter its meaning slightly without changing its grammatical class, whereas suffixes appear at the end of a word and often change the grammatical category. Here we can see some common examples of derivational morphemes, their types, and how they change the meaning or grammatical category of words. The morpheme un is a derivational prefix. When added to the beginning of the free morpheme kind, it forms unkind, which remains an adjective but carries the opposite meaning. This shows that the prefix un changes the meaning of the word without altering its grammatical class. Similarly, in preview means before, so preview means to view beforehand. The prefix in disconnect adds a sense of reversal or negation to connect, giving the meaning to undo or separate a connection. On the other hand, ness is a derivational suffix. When added to the free morpheme happy, it forms happiness, changing the grammatical category from an adjective to a noun that expresses a state or quality. Likewise, meant in development turns the verb develop into a noun that refers to the process or result of developing. Meanwhile, eyes in modernize changes the adjective modern into a verb meaning to make or become modern. Thus, while prefixes generally modify the meaning of a word without changing its grammatical class, and suffixes often create entirely new words with new grammatical roles, a key function of derivational morphemes in word formation. Let's now focus on inflectional morphemes. These morphemes are always added in the end of a word. Unlike derivational morphemes, they do not change the grammatical class of the word. Instead, they add grammatical information such as number, tense, aspect, or degree. Inflectional morphemes are syntactically required, meaning they are necessary for sentences to be grammatically correct. Inflectional morphemes in English appear only as suffixes. For example, when s is added to book, it becomes books, marking the plural form without changing the word class, and it remains a noun. Similarly, ed in cooked indicates the past tense of the verb cook, and ing in swimming shows the continuous aspect of the verb swim. These examples show that inflectional morphemes modify form but not meaning or class. They provide grammatical detail that helps us understand how words function within sentences, making them essential elements of English morphology. English has 8 inflectional morphemes, and all of them are suffixes. They modify a word's form, but they don't change its meaning or grammatical class. Let's look at them one by one. The plural suffix s marks more than one, as in cats. The possessive suffix -s shows ownership, like in boys. The third-person singular suffix s is used with verbs, such as runs. The past tense is shown by ed in played, while the progressive is ing in swimming. The past participle form uses n as in broken. For adjectives, we use for the comparative degree, like taller, and est for the superlative degree, like tallest. These 8 inflectional morphemes help shape English grammar, showing number, tense, possession, and degree, without changing the word's core meaning. This table clearly compares derivational and inflectional morphemes. In terms of function, derivational morphemes create new words or meanings, while inflectional morphemes only change the word's form to express grammar. When it comes to position, derivational morphemes can appear as either prefixes or suffixes, for example, in unhappy or in teacher. Inflectional morphemes, however, occur only as suffixes, such as s in books or ed in played. Another key point is class change. Derivational morphemes often change a word's grammatical category. For instance, teach becomes teacher, while inflectional morphemes do not affect word class together. These differences show that while both are bound morphemes, derivational morphemes build new words, and inflectional morphemes adjust existing ones. To conclude, let's quickly review what we've learned in this lecture. Morphemes are the smallest meaningful units of language. We saw that free morphemes can stand alone as complete words, while bound morphemes must attach to other forms to create meaning. Free morphemes include lexical words that carry content and functional words that serve grammatical purposes. Bound morphemes are divided into derivational types, which change a word's meaning or class, and inflectional types, which change only its grammatical form. Understanding these distinctions helps us see how words are structured and how meaning is built in language. In our next lecture, we'll move a step further into the study of morphology. We'll explore the concepts of morph and its classifications, and look into the concept of allomorph and see how they relate to the morpheme, the basic unit we've been discussing so far. We'll also look at the difference between morpheme, morph, and allomorph. So stay tuned. And trust me, you don't want to miss it because this is where things start to get really interesting. Make sure to check out the next video in our crash course on morphology. Your room to learn is just a click away. Like and subscribe today.